The sky was dark, stars shined like small lights. Everything was calm and quiet. Then suddenly, a flash. A bright light cut through the sky like fire. It moved fast, burning. It was a small escape pod. And inside that pod, there was a child. His name was Eli, only 5 years old. His face was dirty, his eyes full of tears. He held a broken photo in his hand, a photo of his parents. The pod crashed deep inside a green alien forest. Trees burned. Smoke filled the air. The crash made a loud sound. Birds flew away. The ground shook. Inside the pod, Eli opened his eyes slowly. His head hurt. His stomach growled. He looked around. There was no one, no voice, no warmth. Just cold. Metal and silence. Mom. Dad, he whispered. No answer came. Eli was alone. Far away, in the same forest, another being opened her eyes. She was not human. Her name was Sira. She was tall, with blue skin and glowing eyes. Her hair moved slowly like soft water. She was quiet, strong, and calm. She lived in this forest alone, hiding from her past. Sira heard the crash. Then, she heard something else, a soft cry. A human child's voice. At first, she did not move. She had promised herself never to go near humans again. But something inside her changed. The child's cry felt sharp, like a knife in her heart. She stood up. Her long cloak touched the ground. Slowly, she walked toward the sound. Eli was trying to crawl out of the pod. His legs were weak. He fell to the ground. His lips were dry. His hands were shaking. He sat under a tree, hugged his knees, and cried. That's when he saw her. A shadow moved between the trees. Quiet, smooth and tall. He got scared. Who's there? He asked, his voice shaking. Sira stepped forward. Her blue face looked soft in the moonlight. Her eyes were not cold, they were kind. She knelt beside him, slowly, so he would not run. She looked into his eyes. Eli looked back. He was too weak to move now. Sira touched his forehead. It was hot. He had a fever. He had not eaten for a long time. He needed food. He needed care. He needed ... a mother. Sira looked around. There was no one, no ship, no adult. Just this child. She remembered a time long ago when her own baby had died during the war. The pain returned. This child, this human, was not her enemy. He was innocent. He was hungry. Sira picked him up gently. He did not fight. He was too tired. He laid his head on her shoulder, and for the first time he felt safe. But Sira had a choice. She could leave him, or save him. She walked back to her cave, holding him close. Inside the cave it was warm and safe. She laid Eli on a soft bed made from leaves. He was breathing, but slowly. His body was cold. His face had no color. Sira knew what she had to do. She had milk inside her body, a gift of her alien biology. Long ago, it was meant for her baby. Now, it could save this child. She sat beside him. Her hands were shaking a little. This was not normal. A human child and an alien woman. But something greater was happening. A bond. A connection. Gently, she held him and brought him close. The child opened his mouth weakly and began to drink. His breathing became steady. His hands stopped shaking. His face became calm. A tear fell from Sira's eye. She had saved him. Outside, the wind moved through the trees. Stars watched from above. Eli slept in peace for the first time in many days. And Sira sat beside him like a mother, but deep in the forest, a scanner beeped. A red light blinked. Someone had found the crash site. They were not alone anymore. The night was still. Stars blinked far above. In the heart of the forest, inside a cave, a strange and beautiful moment was happening. Blue-skinned alien woman sat on the floor. In her arms, a small human child slept quietly. His name was Eli. His face was calm now. His chest moved slowly up and down. He was alive. The woman, Sira, did not sleep. Her eyes stayed open, glowing softly in the dark. She looked down at the child. She had saved him with milk from her own body, from a gift nature had once taken from her. But in her heart, questions burned. What am I doing? She asked herself, why him? She had once hated humans. She had fought in a war against them. She had lost her child in that same war, and now, here she was, holding a human boy like a mother. Morning came slowly. The sun's light touched the forest leaves. Birds with glowing feathers sang gentle songs. Inside the cave, Eli opened his eyes. For a moment, he didn't remember where he was. Then he saw her. Sira sat near the fire, watching the entrance. She heard him move and turned her head. Their eyes met. Eli sat up slowly. He looked scared. Not because she looked different, but because everything around him was strange. Are you going to eat me? He asked in a small voice. Sira blinked. Then she smiled. No, she said gently. I gave you food. I don't eat what I protect. Eli stared at her. Her voice was calm. Her face was kind. He felt warm inside. Where's my mom and dad? He asked. His voice shook. Sira's face changed. She looked down. They didn't come, she said softly. I think they tried to save you. Eli didn't cry. Not yet. He just looked away. His small hands pulled his knees to his chest. His world was broken. Sira stood up and brought him a warm drink made from local fruit. It smelled sweet. He took it with both hands and sipped slowly. I don't know your name, she said. Eli. He whispered. She nodded. My name is Sira. He looked at her face again. You're not human. No, and you are not alien, she said. Eli looked confused. But you helped me. Sira paused. Her voice was quiet. Yes, I helped you. He smiled a little. For the first time, they weren't alien to each other. Later that day, Sira took Eli outside the cave. The air was fresh. Strange animals walked on 4 legs and had eyes like crystal. Trees were tall and purple. The world looked like a dream. Eli held Sira's hand. He was small, she was tall. Together, they looked like the moon and a spark. She showed him how to find fruit, how to listen for danger, how to watch the sky for hunters. They sat by a river. Sira watched his reflection. You are soft and small, she said, but your heart is strong. Eli looked up at her. Are you my new mommy? Sira didn't answer. Instead, she said, let's get back. The forest is not safe after dark. But the forest was already watching. Far away, behind the trees, a dark machine sat hidden. It was the size of a wolf, but it had no fur. Only metal and red lights. It had no eyes, but it could see everything. It had found the boy. It had found Sira. And now, it sent a signal. Back in the cave, Sira made a bed for Eli. She gave him a soft cloth. He smiled and held her hand. You feel warm, he said. She nodded. That's because you are not alone. He closed his eyes. Will you leave me? She looked at him a long time. No, she whispered. Not this time. As he slept, Sira stood by the entrance. Her hand touched a mark on the wall. An old war symbol. A reminder of who she used to be. She had trained to fight. She had trained to kill. But tonight, she had become something else, a protector. Maybe even a mother. The night returned. But it didn't come alone. It brought shadows. It brought machines. And it brought hunters. In the deep forest. Far from the stars, the trees whispered warnings. Leaves moved without wind. Creatures hid in their burrows. The ground held its breath. A metal shape crawled across the jungle floor, silent, slow, deadly. Its red eyes scanned the dark. Its legs moved like a spider, but sharper, colder. It had no heart. No fear. Only a mission. Find the child. Capture the alien. Kill if needed. Inside a quiet cave, Eli slept under a soft cloth. He dreamed of stars, of laughter, of a mother's arms. Beside him, Sira sat with her eyes closed, but she was not asleep. She listened. Every sound outside the cave spoke to her. A broken twig, a change in wind, a low hum in the ground. She opened her eyes. They glowed softly like twin moons. "They're here," she whispered. Sira stood slowly. Her cloak wrapped around her like mist. She looked down at Eli, his tiny chest. Moved up and down. Peaceful. Safe, for now. She picked up her old weapon, a silver staff with energy lines that pulsed when touched. She had not used it in years. Not since the war, but tonight it remembered her. And so did the enemy. In the forest, two hunters met in silence. Their bodies were not flesh. They were built from war. Wires, sensors, metal bones. One held up a small screen. A picture of Eli's face blinked red. Target located. Sira moved through the trees like smoke. Her feet did not make sound. Her breath was steady. She could see them now. Two machines walking toward the cave. Their weapons glowed faint blue. She stepped into their path. No fear. No words. Only warning. The machines stopped. Scanned her. Subject: Sira, former soldier. Class: dangerous. One raised its weapon. Step aside. Hand over the human child. Sira tilted her head. Then she attacked. Her staff glowed as it struck. Sparks flew. One machine fell, its face split open. The other moved back and fired. Blue. Light hit her arm. She spun, gritted her teeth, and knocked the gun from its hand. The machine tried to run, but Sira leapt forward and crushed its head with a single blow. Silence returned. Smoke rose from broken metal. Sira stood still, but she knew. This was not the end. Back in the cave, Eli sat up. He had woken from a strange dream, something cold chasing him. He looked around. No Sira. He got scared. He stepped outside the cave, barefoot, holding the cloth like a blanket. He saw light in the trees, sparks, smoke. Sira? He called out. No answer. He walked toward the sound. Sira found him before danger did. She ran back and pulled him into her arms. "You should not have left the cave," she said. Eli looked up at her. "I was scared." "I thought you left me." Sira's voice softened. "Never." He hugged her, his small arms around her neck, but Sira's eyes looked past him, to the sky. There were more coming. She took Eli and ran through the forest. Her feet knew the way. She had built many hiding places in her past life, old tunnels, secret doors, false walls. She entered a hidden path beneath the roots of a giant tree. Inside it was dark and safe. Sira placed Eli on a soft surface. She gave him water. He drank, watching her silently. "You were strong today," she said. Eli looked down. "I was scared." "Courage is not the absence of fear," she said. "It is choosing to protect even when you are afraid." He didn't understand all her words, but he nodded anyway. Sira turned and stared at the wall. On it was a symbol, a red flame. It was her old sign, a warning she had been found. The hunters would return, and next time there would be more. She closed her eyes and placed her hand on the wall. "I can't run forever," she whispered. Eli looked at her. "What does it mean?" She turned and smiled softly. "It means I must fight, not just for me now, but for you." He reached out, held her hand. She held it back. Two different worlds, one small bond, one big danger, outside. In the clouds above, a ship broke through the sky. Its scanners were already locked on the forest. More hunters, more trouble. And this time, they knew her name. Asterisk, a city hid beneath the ground. It was not made of glass or steel. It was built from old stone, forgotten tunnels, and machines powered by sound. Its walls glowed with soft green light, and the air smelled like oil and dust. This place was called Varnox, the city of exiles, a place where broken things came to hide. Sira stood at its gate. Her cloak was torn. Her arms held Eli close. He was quiet, sleepy, his head resting on her shoulder. They had walked through forest, hills, and rivers. They had escaped the machines. For now, but safety had a price. And Varnox was not kind to strangers. 2 guards blocked the way. Their faces were covered with black masks. One of them raised a scanner. Alien ID name? Sira pulled back her hood. The guards stepped back. You, one of them said. Sir and nodded. I need passage. You're not welcome here anymore. She looked into his eyes. This is not for me. It's for the child. The scanner beeped. They looked down at Eli. Human? One whispered. Sira said nothing. The guards looked at each other, then stepped aside. You have 48 hours, the other said. No more. Sira entered. Varnox was alive. People walked quickly, heads down. Machines rolled over stone roads. Creatures with metal arms sold strange food. No one smiled. No one asked questions. It was a city that didn't care about your story, only your silence. Sira walked through the crowd. She knew the way. Eli looked around wide-eyed. This was not like the forest. There were no stars here. No trees. Only light and noise and shadows. Where are we? He asked softly. A place full of people who have nowhere else to go. She answered. He held her hand tighter. Sira found an old metal door. She knocked 3 times. Then 2. Then 1. It opened slowly. A tall alien stood behind it, one eye. Silver hair and arms made of wires. Sira? He said. You're still alive? I need shelter, she said. He looked at Eli. And ... You brought a human child? I brought a child, she said. He stepped aside. Inside the room was small but safe. Old lights flickered. A heater hummed. Sira sat Eli on a soft couch. The child looked tired but curious. He pointed at a floating robot cleaning the floor. It has no face, he said. It doesn't need one. Sira replied. The silver-haired alien came back with food and water. You're lucky I still owe you, he said. You know what they'll do if they find out who you are. They already. No, she said. The hunters found us. He froze. Then they'll come here next. I know. Then why come at all? She looked at Eli. That's why. The alien sighed. You haven't changed. No, she said. But I'm not the same either. Later that night, Sira fixed Eli's small wound. She gave him soup and told him stories about stars that sing and planets that breathe. He laughed. It was a sound this room had never heard before. She smiled. But not far from them, in the darker part of the city, someone else had heard the laugh. Shadow stood in the alley. He watched through a broken screen. His face was covered, but his eyes burned with memory. Sira. He whispered. He had not forgotten her. Back in the room, Eli sat near Sira. I saw someone watching us, he said. She turned quickly. Where? A tall man, one eye. Sira stood up. Her heart beat faster. That man was not from the city. He was from her past. She locked the door, closed the windows, sat beside Eli. He looked worried. Are we safe? He asked. For now, she said. Will the bad people come again? She looked into his eyes. Yes, but I will be ready. He hugged her. And for the first time, she hugged him like a mother, not just a protector. Her past was full of shadows. But this child was her light. Outside, in the silent city, the shadow moved toward her building. He carried no gun. No scanner. Only an old photo with her face on it. He whispered again. You left me behind, and now I'm coming to return the favor. Some truths sleep for years, hidden in silence, buried in guilt, locked behind eyes that refuse to cry. But truth always finds a way. In a cold room beneath the city of Varnox, Sira stood still, her back against the wall. Her eyes stared at the floor. She had not slept, not because she was afraid, but because memory had returned. Old, sharp memory. Eli sat nearby, playing with a round metal ball. It floated when he touched it, blinking green and blue. He giggled. Sira didn't smile. Past had come knocking. Earlier that morning, a package had arrived. No name, no return code, just a small box with a red flame symbol. Sira had frozen the moment she saw it. She opened it slowly. Inside was a data chip. Old, damaged, but still alive. She stared at it for a long time before sliding it into the wall screen. Image was shaky. Then it became clear. A man appeared. Tall, human, beard. His eyes were tired, but kind. It was Eli's father. He spoke with urgency. If anyone finds this, please protect our son. His name is Eli. We launched his pod before. The station was attacked. His mother and we didn't make it. But he's strong, he's kind. Please keep him safe. Then, a woman stepped beside him. Her voice broke as she spoke. To our son, if you ever see this, we love you. We always loved you. Then, fire. The screen went black. Eli dropped the ball. Sira turned and saw the child. His face was pale. His lips shook. Was that them? Yes, she said. My mommy and daddy. He whispered. He didn't cry. He just sat still. Empty. Then he asked the question she feared most. Why didn't you save them too? Sira took a deep breath. She sat beside him, because she whispered, I was part of the team that attacked that station. The room froze. The air felt heavy. You mean, you were the bad guy? Eli said. Sira's voice cracked. I didn't know there was a child on board. I followed orders. I was a weapon. Eli moved away slowly. You hurt my family? She looked into his eyes. Yes. Silence. A wall between them. A bridge. Burning. Outside, the shadow watched. Through a scanner, the same man from before. Tall, silent, eyes full of fire. He smiled when he heard the truth. Now the boy knows who she really is. He pressed a button on his wrist. Send in the drones. Location confirmed. Inside, Sira stood. I never wanted to kill, she said. I was trained to follow, but saving you, it changed me. Eli turned his back to her. I don't know if I can trust you now. Her chest hurt, not from injury, but from something deeper. I understand. She stepped toward the door. Where are you going? Eli asked. To keep them from finding you again. At that moment, the wall shook. Boom. Dust fell from the ceiling. Sira spun around. They're here. Eli rushed toward her. No, don't leave me. She grabbed her staff. I'm not leaving. I'm protecting. Another boom. The door cracked open. 3 small drones floated in. Quiet, fast, deadly. They scanned the room. Target, human child. Capture order active. Sira stood in front of Eli. Not today, she said. The drones fired. She jumped. Spun. 1. Drone sparked and crashed. She kicked the second into the wall. It exploded. The third aimed at Eli. Sira threw her staff like lightning. Direct hit. It dropped in pieces. Silence returned. Smoke floated in the air. Eli stood frozen. Sira walked to him. He looked up, tears in his eyes. You saved me again. She knelt down. Double quotes. Yes. Even if you never forgive me, I will keep saving you. Eli hugged her. She held him tight. The past was full of blood, but maybe the future could hold hope. Far away, the shadow watched the feed cut out. She's stronger than I remember, he said. Then he pulled off his mask. Half of his face was metal, the other half human. I'll come myself next time. Asterisk, some choices are small. Tea or water. Left or right. But some choices. Change everything. Life or death. Run or fight. Save yourself or save someone you love. Sierra stood in silence. Her cloak was torn. Her staff was cracked. And her heart was louder than the war outside. Behind her, Eli sat curled in a corner, clutching the burnt edge of the photo his father left behind. Outside the shelter, footsteps marched closer. The enemy had come. But this time, it wasn't machines. It was him, the man with the metal face. His name was Cale. Once, long ago, Sierra had fought beside him. They were like lightning and thunder, strong, fast, unstoppable. They weren't just soldiers, they were family. But war breaks many things, even blood, even trust. A voice echoed through the old stone halls of Varnox. Sierra, I know you're in there. No more hiding. She stood still. I don't want the boy. I want you. She clenched her fists. Ela looked up. Who is he? She didn't answer right away. Then she said, someone I once called brother. Boom. The door shook. Another boom. Dust rained from the ceiling. Eli grabbed her arm. We can run. The tunnel you showed me. Sierra looked down at him. His eyes were full of hope, innocence, trust. She closed her eyes. Then whispered, no, not this time. She bent down, placed her hands gently on his shoulders. You know how to follow the lights in the tunnel? Yes. You know how to stay quiet? He nodded, eyes starting to water. Then you go. And you don't stop running until the sky opens. But what about you? He asked. She smiled, though her eyes were sad. I'll find you, I promise. Eli ran. Not because he wanted to, but because he believed her, and because love sometimes means letting go. Sierra stood tall. She picked up her broken staff. She breathed in slowly. And then the door broke open. Cale stepped in, metal boots hitting stone like thunder. His half-human face was calm. His red cybernetic eye blinked. Slowly, you always make things difficult, he said. You always forget who I am. She replied. You're a traitor, he said. You left us to die. I left the war, she said. Not my soul. He laughed. You really believe that child makes you whole again? No, she said. But he made me remember who I wanted to be. Cale raised his arm. A blade popped from his wrist. Sierra moved first, faster than fire. Her staff clashed against the blade. Sparks flew. They fought like ghosts from the past. Each strike told a story. Each wound remembered an old lie. Cale knocked the staff from her hand. You were the best, he said. But even the best bleed. He stabbed once. She dodged. Twice. He cut her side. She screamed but stood her ground. Then she did something Cale never expected. She dropped her weapon and opened her arms. I won't fight you anymore, she said. Cale froze. What game is this? No game, just truth. He looked confused and a little scared. Truth? He repeated. I was your sister once. You were my family. But I will not kill what's left of it. Not even now. Cale stepped closer, blade still raised. She didn't move. Then he lowered the blade. Silenced. Two hearts between war and peace. Cale looked away. I lost everything too. Sierra, he said. You just ran first. She nodded. And you never stopped chasing me. Behind them, an alarm blared. Reinforcements were coming. Not just for her, but for him too. Cale looked at her. Go, take the boy. I'll hold them off. Sierra's eyes widened. Why? He smirked. Because even the broken ones get one last choice. She ran. Blood on her side, but fire in her heart, through tunnels, past ghosts, toward light. In the distance. Eli stood under an open sky. He looked up, saw her. Sierra, he shouted. She fell to her knees beside him, breathing hard. You came, he whispered. I told you I would, she said. Behind them, the city shook. Sierra looked back. One last Time. Then held Eli close. This time, she didn't run from her past. She ran with her future. The sky was no longer dark. Clouds opened. Sunlight touched the earth like a blessing, and for the first time in many days. Eli smiled. They stood at the edge of a floating cliff, a high place above the forest, where the air was clean and the stars could be seen in daylight. Sira sat beside him, her arm wrapped around his small shoulders. She was tired, bleeding, but alive. They had escaped the city, survived the hunters, buried the past, but peace never stays for long. Not in stories like this. Eli pointed to the sky. There, he said. A dot moved above the clouds, growing larger, slower, smoother. A ship, not a hunter drone, not a war machine. This one was clean, silver, elegant. Sira stood up quickly. That's not from Varnox, she said. The ship came down like a whisper. No guns, no lights, just calm. It landed softly near the cliff. A small door opened, and a figure stepped out. A woman. Human. Alive. Eli stepped back. His heart raced. The woman looked familiar. Her eyes, her hair, her face. She knelt and opened her arms. Eli? She said, her voice shaking. Is it really you? He didn't move. He couldn't. Mom? He whispered. Sira stood beside him, silent. The woman's eyes filled with tears. They told me you were gone, lost in the crash. But I searched. I never stopped searching. Eli looked up at Sira, then back at the woman. Two mothers, two lives, one child. Sira spoke quietly. Who are you? The woman wiped her face. I'm Dr. Mira Kale, Eli's biological mother. The military lied to me. They said his pod never launched, but I kept looking. And when I found the signal, I came. Sira's hands curled into fists, not in anger, but confusion. She had fed this child, protected him, fought for him, almost died for him. But she was not his blood. Eli stepped forward. Slowly, he looked into the woman's eyes. You were in the video, he said. With Dad. She nodded. That was real? Yes. Why didn't you come sooner? Her voice broke. Because war doesn't care about love. The wind picked up. The cliff felt quiet again. Then Eli turned around and walked to Cira. He took her hand, then walked back to Mira and took hers too. He stood between them. I don't know what to do, he said. You both feel like home. Mira looked at Sira. I saw the footage. What you did for him. You didn't have to. But you did. Sira said nothing. I'm not here to take him from you, Mira continued. I'm here to know him again. Sira knelt beside Eli. You don't have to choose today, she said softly. You have 2 arms. You can hold both of us. He smiled and hugged her first, then hugged Mira. Both women reached out, and for a moment, there was no past. Only peace. But peace never stays forever. A soft beep came from Sira's belt. Her scanner blinked. Red. Another ship. Approaching fast. This one was not friendly. Sira stood tall again. They're not done, she said. Mira looked toward the horizon. I have weapons, she said. My ship can fly. We can leave this world. Sira shook her head. They will follow, no matter where we go. Eli stepped forward. Then we fight. Sira and Mira looked down at him. You? Mira said, smiling. He raised his chin. I'm not just a child. Sira nodded. No, you're the flame. Mira smiled through tears. And I'm his mother. Sira stepped beside her, his second mother. The camera would pull back here if this were a film. 3 figures standing on the edge of the cliff. A child between 2 mothers, a ship in the sky. A future unwritten. Not every story ends with a battle. Some end with a promise, and Eli, the child once lost, now had 2 worlds in his hands. The flame was not just alive. It was growing.